everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name's Christina, and before you continue watching, please subscribe, give a big thumbs up and leave any comments down below. So yeah, as you can tell from the title, I am back today talking to you guys about me being a young mum, losing a child, bringing up 2 kids, and just what it's like to be a young mum, and you know, the joys of it, the struggles of it, and obviously the struggle as well of losing a child at a young age is like, how do you cope? You don't expect that. No one expects that. No matter what age you are as a mum, you just don't expect losing a child. So yeah, I thought I'll sit down today in my living room with my cup of tea and just talk to you guys about being a mum, being a young mum. So where do I start? When I fell pregnant with my first child, Angelo, I was only 20. Me and the hubby, my fiance at the time, we just got engaged. We had our big engagement party. I was 20, and then a month after our engagement party, we found out we were pregnant. It wasn't planned or anything, you know, we were just not really being careful. But yeah, we felt pregnant. We were so happy. I mean, we just got engaged. We were serious, obviously. Okay, we weren't married, but it's like, we're gonna get married. We just got engaged, you know, so whatever. So yeah, and that was, we got engaged in October. Well, he proposed in May, but we had a big ceremony and party in October, so it took a couple of months for us to plan it, because if you're Greek and you're Greek Orthodox, we do like a big whole ceremony with the priest and stuff. So that happened in October, and then November, about a week or 2 before our 1-year anniversary of just being together, we found out we were pregnant. So on our 1-year anniversary, we were pregnant. Like, everything just happened so fast, because within 6 months of our relationship, he proposed. So yeah, but we were friends beforehand, just so you know. We were good friends beforehand, but he was seeing someone, I was seeing someone, then we lost contact, and then we started speaking again because he was friends with my brother. La-di-la-di-la. We fell pregnant. I was 20, George was about 21, I think. No, 22. He was 22, coming up to 23. So yeah, we were all happy. My mum and dad were not too happy because we were planning to get married the year after, to give us time to save up money and plan everything. So my parents are very like strict in that kind of way, so they wanted me to be married. So we found out we were pregnant, we had to get married. Okay, so it took us 7 months to plan the wedding, and it happened. I was 7 months pregnant on my wedding day. I was 21 when that happened, and because on my 21st birthday, I was on my 21st birthday, I was 4 months pregnant with Angelo, which was a really good birthday. Anyway, I just not long finished from all the morning sickness. I had it really bad with him. Just everything was just really bad with Angelo. So yeah, then on our 5th month scan, 20-week scan, we found out a few things. There was like red flags, there was fluid in the brain, there was, his bowels were white than normal, as they said. They wanted me to do an amnio. I was like, no, like whatever the results are anyway, I'm not gonna terminate or anything like that. Whatever it is, we'll find out when he's born and deal with it. We just thought he might be a bit delayed, you know, just all of that stuff. But when he was born, it was, yeah, I didn't expect that. It was a horrific birth. I almost died. He could have died at that point as well. I was kind of close to death. My husband and mum had to decide if anything did go really wrong, if they should save me or the baby. And because they knew that there was something wrong with the baby anyway, obviously they picked me, but thankfully that didn't come to that. We both survived the birth. Everything was fine. The birth of Angelo was all a blur anyway. I don't remember too much of it. I lost a lot of blood. I had stitches. And mind you, I had no pain control, pain relief. The only thing I didn't feel was them snipping me down below to like put the forceps in. Yeah, it was just a nightmare. He was born, he wasn't crying. But then thankfully he started crying. Had to take him to intensive care straight away. And mind you, North Mid, I am going to name the hospital, North Middlesex Hospital, which is, to me, a horrible hospital. They knew I had a high risk pregnancy, and they did everything wrong. The doctor came in the last minute, and he had to guide the nurse, from what I heard, because I was kind of blacking out and stuff. And they should have called the doctor an hour before. Anyways, and then from then on, everything went just downhill. We found out he stayed 3 weeks in hospital. He wasn't feeding properly. He was skinny. There was no meat on him. And anyway, we started finding out things about him. Then at 2 weeks, we were 2 weeks old. We were in and out of St. Thomas's Hospital, King's Hospital. When he was 8 weeks old, we found out that he had FUMARASE deficiency. It's a genetic disease, disorder. Me and my husband are carriers of the 40FH gene, which we did not know until we had Angelo, because they tested us after. So we are carriers. So each time we are pregnant, with the other two that I had, we had to have a CVS test, which is not a pleasant test. So yeah. And then from then on, it just went downhill. He had a 9-hour liver op at 8 weeks old. We thought that would help him. But then they just determined to us, they told us that he would not survive until his first birthday. So as a 21-year-old and a first-time mum, your world just crumbles, because you have other things in your mind when you fall pregnant, especially when you're young and you want to be a young mum and you fall pregnant for the first time. You're thinking, wow, you know. And that was not the case for me. It was a nightmare. I was living in like a black hole. That's how I felt. Not only was I a young mum to a child, but a young mum to a very sick and disabled child. And I was his nurse as well. So I had to have a whole list of his medication, what time. We were in and out of hospital. That was our home. That was our second home, in hospital. We only went out with him a couple of times because of germs, bacteria. We had to be really careful. When I had the cold or anything, I would have to go and stay at my mum's, and George would have to look after the baby. It was just a nightmare, okay? I did not imagine being 21 with a baby and having to go through all of that. And to see your child suffer, it's... you just wish that you can go through that and not the baby. Yeah, it's just horrible. And then nights where we had to stay at hospital, my mum is like my biggest rock as well. My husband was my rock, but my mum is my #1 rock. Seriously, without her as well, I don't know. And we had great support with my dad as well, brother and sister, you know, my husband's sister, my best friend, who is also the godmother of my daughter. Without their help and support, I don't know. So yeah, my mum will have to leave. Everyone had to leave, but my mum would sneakily just stay the night with me in the hospital. She, as a mum as well, she didn't want to leave her young daughter, who is a young mum, in hospital with a child who's sick. And I used to say to her, Mum, I'm fine, like, you know, I can do it. The nurses are around, whatever. She goes, no, I'm going to stay with you. So she used to sleep in the bed next to me. The one time she got caught and we're like, okay, you know. So she's my biggest rock. Anyways, Angelo sadly passes away. I turned 22 February 10th, and then March 21st he passes away. So I was 22 when he passed away. When he passed away, it's a really weird feeling because your world just crumbles. Like, you've just lost your baby, your first child, but then there's also like a sense of relief as in you're not going to see your baby suffer anymore. You know that he's at peace, he's with the angels, that's what I believe, he's with Jesus. So yeah, this heartache and also relief, you know, like no more seeing him suffer. So yeah, it's just a really weird feeling. Only a parent who has gone through this or who is going through this knows the feeling, and I don't wish this on anyone. Anyways, we bury Angelo, and then 3 weeks after his burial, we find out we are pregnant with my daughter, which is like the biggest gift of all times. But then there's also a sense of anxiety and fear because obviously we know we have a 1 in 4 chances of it happening again. So we go through the CVS test, and then we go through a week of waiting to find out. And thankfully she comes back healthy, and you know, it comes back that she's healthy, there's nothing wrong. We found out the gender, she was a girl obviously, and she's not even a carrier of the gene. So she's not even a carrier and she doesn't have the illness. So that is a bonus of her not being a carrier, because she doesn't have to go through tests later on in life and all of that stuff. So that was good. So obviously she is our rainbow baby. For those who don't know, a rainbow baby, a rainbow child, is a baby that comes straight after you losing a child. So after your biggest storm, horrible storm, your rainbow comes and just makes everything look so much more happier. But can I just say, when your rainbow child comes, it doesn't make it easier, you losing a child. It kind of helps the healing. You never forget about that child. You never forget anything about that child. It just, you know, it's just a joy after your storm. So yeah, everything with Andriani was amazing. The birth was pretty okay. After her birth, I did contract a severe urine infection. You know, but everything with Andriani was easy. She was an easy child, full of joy. Like, she was just an easy baby. From 3 months onwards, she would sleep through the night. She would feed well. Like, she was a clever baby. And until now, like, thank God, like, she is a clever child. I'm so blessed to have her. Well, both of my kids. And blessed to have an angel up there. But yeah, everything was good with her. I was a 22-year-old mum who's still grieving, but also has joy in her life. I've had my baby girl, where I'm out, proud and happy. And then as soon as she turns 1, I think again about a week or 2 later, we find out we're pregnant with Alexi. So yeah, I've had my babies back to back. So it's like, yeah. So Alexi comes, we go through some scans, go through the CVS test. He comes back good, that he's not affected by the gene, but he is a carrier of the gene. So when he does get married in the future, even though it's so rare, because me and George are the most rarest, it's like, this is like 100 recorded worldwide. But he still had to get tested. So when he gets married, his partner will have to get tested. And those who are carriers of this 40 gene, we have a 10 to 15% chance of having kidney tumors, and for the women as well to have fibroids. So he will have to be tested when he hits teens. So yeah, but at least he's healthy. He doesn't have the deficiency, so that's all good. His labor again was good, all natural as well, same as Andriani in the birthing pool. But at the end I have to come up because it just gets a bit messy for me. That's what just happens when I give birth, when I'm pushing. Yeah. So yeah, but in the birthing pool, everything's good. Then after Alexi, some people know I've always had a lump in my boob since having Andriani. When she was about 9 months old, I ended up having a lump. The doctor said that it was hormonal. In the end, it wasn't just hormonal. It was a cyst, which was probably full of poison. It was disgusting. And it just kept on growing, and it became worse when I had Alexi. And then I ended up having the most severest case of mastitis, had an emergency breast op. It was horrific. It's like, seriously, I was, how old at the time? I was 24 with my third child and hit with the severe case of mastitis again. I was close to death. Like, I was really sick, really sick. I mean, when I went back for my checkup and stuff after the op, my surgeon goes to me, when she saw me all kind of done up and looking a bit better, she goes to me, "You do not know how sick you was." I was like, wow, you know. And it was the most horrific process of healing. It took 8 whole weeks to heal. They had to pack it and unpack the wound and stuff it back in, and then the fat kind of grows back up. It was just horrific. So anyway, all of that just goes, you know, 2 babies now, bringing them up, 24 years old with 2 little young kids. Everything's good, you know, we have a home, a good loving family, husband. But Alexi was a bit of a difficult child and still is. I love him so much, but he has a lot of phobias. You know, he still wakes up sometimes at night for milk because he's a really fussy eater. He has bowel problems because he has severe constipation. So when you're a mum, you need to be prepared for like loads of things. It's not all jolly. It's not all roses and petals that you see on TV sometimes. Being a parent is hard. It's so hard. You might have a child that can be quite easy, an easy flow of bringing that child up, but then you can have a child where it's like, oh my God, who could be a crybaby, very sensitive, who, like I said, has loads of phobias, and you have to try and like deal with that as well. But he's a good child. You know, my kids are not those crazy kids. You know, we do discipline them. They do know, you know, they do have their moments. But being a young mum can be stressful because all of my 20s is like, we still have our date nights with my husband. We still have like going out with our friends. You know, we don't let being parents stop us. You know, do not let parenting stop you. If you have family and friends that you trust that can babysit for you and allows you to go out, you need to do that. You need to feel normal, especially as a young person being a parent, and you're not like your late 30s being a first-time parent, or 40s where you're like, you've fulfilled everything. You need to feel human. And the good thing about me and my husband, he had his own business when we got married, young businessman who's successful, thank God. You know, we weren't just married and had a baby with no education and stuff. No, we done things properly. I was a qualified beauty therapist. I was working. Like I said, hubby is a successful like businessman. He's a bespoke tailor in central London. We have our beautiful home. This is our second home now. Those who've been following me for a while have seen our new home. You know, we are successful and everything, but it's hard work. Like my husband as well works so hard to have what we have today. But we have gone through our struggles, heartache, but also we have gone through happy times and just proud moments as well with our children, with ourselves. So being a young person with children, a young mum, dad, can be hard, but it can also be rewarding. It's a blessing to have children. But when you have your first child, be prepared. Like, you know, you could be hit with a heartbreak, like, you know, an illness of your child or of yourself. You could just be hit with anything, okay? It could be any age. You could be hit with heartbreak and struggles. But I believe that, you know, God just doesn't give you joy. He gives you heartache, sadness, and challenges to challenge you and see how you can cope and how much you can cope. And, you know, for me, losing Angelo has taught me and many other people a lot. He has taught us so much. And I believe he has made me a stronger person and a stronger believer. I may not go to church every Sunday, but I stick to my faith. I am a Greek Orthodox Christian, and I stick to my faith. And I believe I could have gone a different whole way. I could have been against God, him taking Angelo away from me. But it has drawn me closer, and thankfully, trying with the other two, they came out healthy. We didn't have to go through abortions. We didn't have to go through other heartache. From the first go we tried having babies, they came back healthy, the results. And to me, that's amazing. People go to me as well now, do you want to have more kids? And I'm like, do you know what? No. The struggle of going through the test and the waiting game, and I just can't keep going through that. Me being blessed with these other two is like, that's it for me. If it comes, it comes, but I'm gonna try my best for it not to come, because I'm done having kids. I want to enjoy my kids now. I want to be 40 and have young adults. You know, like, I'm done. I'm very blessed to have 2 other children. My health been okay as well. I have ups and downs. My husband being good and healthy, my other family members and friends healthy and happy. I just want to enjoy life now. I don't want to go through like having a new baby in my life. It's just, even though it's a blessing, I'm done. I've done that all in my 20s, and I can't believe I'm 29 and like next year I'm 30. I've had 3 kids, married, home, work. It's just, you know, it's a blessing. Even though we've been through heartbreak, it's a blessing to be here today, to have a guardian angel up above, and to have my 2 beautiful children. So if you are young and you want to have a baby, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you have studied. Make sure you have a home, a stable home. Make sure you're mentally prepared. Just make sure you are fully prepared to be a parent. Mentally, physically, financially, make sure you're prepared, because anything can happen. You might be lucky and everything could go smooth, but in real life, it doesn't always work like that. So, yeah, I wanted you to hear my story of being a young mum, losing a child. This is just like a very quick version, because I don't want this to be super long and just bore you, but this is just me being a young mum. And yeah, if you want to hear more stories, hit me up in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, turn on that notifications bell and press that red button that says subscribe, so you can see more of my videos. I vlog, I do makeup tutorials. I'm going to try and do nail toots as well, and more story time videos if you enjoy them. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video, my loves. Bye.